I wanted to talk to you about the group so far in terms of how they've done. I was just talking to Alejandro.
Oh, specialist group,
Yeah,
okay.
special teams.
Yeah.
What stood out to you about Matt so far and some of the guys in the specialists right now?
Well, we've just had 4 days, and we've spent all 4 days punting. All 4 of the punters have done a great job in the punting. We got to narrow that competition down as time goes on here in fall camp, and trying to get it down to like maybe the 2 best guys with, after about 2 weeks of camp, and then by the time we get in the first game, narrow it down to 1 guy. But they all have a little something different. Inconsistency is the biggest problem, if you will, with all of them. They'll hit some really good balls, and then they'll hit some balls that aren't as good. But we've done some field goals as well and some kickoffs, but it's just we haven't had enough time to really say this is the guy yet. So.
Who's in that rotation? Osherman's in there with
for punters. Wogan's punting. Ian Wheeler's a new freshman. All 4 of those guys are punting and doing a great job. I mean, each of the 4 days has probably been a different guy. It's been the best day for that day. So they're all 4 really, really good. They all have different strengths, So.
From a field goal standpoint, how much can you help these guys from a confidence standpoint, mentality standpoint?
Well, that's always the difficult part, because you try to build confidence by doing it in practice, but you have to relate it to games. And in field goal guys, you're going to get a 1 or 2 chances, or 3 chances a game, or 10, 12 chances a year. So, it's kind of like if a quarterback throws 2 interceptions, do we bench him? I mean, I think I read somewhere where the guy that was a national place kicker, field goal kicker of the year last year missed 3 field goals in a row early in the season. Well, let's bench him. I mean, they don't give any shots, and the confidence part is something that you really try to maintain. Guys just try to be positive, try to go back through what they've done well, try to, from a mental standpoint, try to go back to all the things where they've had success, they've done well, and it really starts in practice. But again, you got to carry it from practice to the game. So.
Is that something that's especially difficult here, it seems, because given the way that Chip's offense ran the last couple of years, a lot of 4th down situations where most coaches would go for a field goal, he didn't. And because of that, your kickers aren't getting a chance to get a repetition in a game, and then all of a sudden they're being thrown out there. And
I don't see it that way. I mean, I see it as he wants to score touchdowns, and we are in a fast. A lot of teams after 3rd down, they kind of and have the defense starts running off the field, and sometimes worn guys down on drives. There's many times we punt. I don't think we should punt. I mean, I coach on offense, so I think we should be attacking people on defense. I think sometimes the media makes a big deal out of that, but that's just the way we wanted to run the offense. We wanted to be aggressive, wanted to go for things, and try to score touchdowns. I don't think kicking 50-yard field goals probably wasn't a thought process, but inside the red zone, we're trying to score touchdowns. And sometimes we've had many times where nobody's ever asked us when we went for it on 4th down and scored a touchdown and got a first success. Hey, how come you didn't kick a field goal? You know what I mean? I mean, it's just all part of trying to be aggressive, and it's just part of the style of play that Chip chose to play, and I happen to love it. I mean, it's not great for the field goal kickers, but we're not here for the field goal kickers. We're here for our team, So whatever best we can do to try to win a game, that's what we're trying to do.
Specifically with Maldonado, talking to him, I mean, it's been a tough couple of years, I think, for him the last few years, just because the general public knows him for a lot of the wrong
2 plays.
Two plays.
Yeah.
Where do you think his confidence is at coming back from it's the life of a kicker, I get that, but it's not an easy, it's a heavy burden to carry on your shoulders.
Well, yeah, when you get death threats, that's not easy for anybody, The threats he gets after, 2 kicks is, nobody deserves that. It's football. We're not curing cancer. It's football. And there's a million plays that were made in games that the field goal should have never come down to. Oh, by the way, Stanford's kicker a year ago missed a field goal in their bowl game. I mean, you can go on and on and on. Washington's field goal kicker missed 2 of them last year. They would have won 2 games at the end of the season. I mean, it's football. It's a couple of plays. Now, if a guy misses 15 field goals, then we got a right to say, hey, boo, But, I think he's done really well. I mean, I think he handled it really well a year ago. I don't know how many guys, Mary, you would handle death threats to me. I mean, I'm 53 years old. I probably wouldn't handle it very well. But I think he's bounced back. He's done real well. He's got a good frame of mind. He's very quiet. He doesn't say a lot. So you don't know what's going on in that mind all the time because he's very quiet.
You said he worked with Cerno in the offseason.
Yeah.
Did he talk to you much about that? Do you know?
No. I mean, I think all kicker guys kind of hang out with other kicker guys, and some good, some bad. I mean, I've seen guys go and work out with some guy that's been another kicker, ex-kicker or something, to come back and are totally messed up. Sometimes mentally, mechanic-wise, technique-wise. I mean, does the ball go through the poles or doesn't it go through the poles? Do we kick off efficiently? Do we punt the ball efficiently? I mean, that's That's what's important. I mean, there've been a million guys that work out with other guys, receivers, quarterbacks, those kind of things, but if there's something to help the guy, I'm 110% behind it. So.
You guys offered Logan after the Sailor Camp here, right?
Yes.
What stood out to you about what you saw?
He was
here?
without question the best guy here. Wasn't even close. I saw him in May. He can kick the ball farther and higher than anybody else that was here. I went out and saw about 6 guys in May throughout the country. He was one of them, and we'd evaluated all winter long. Went through hundreds of films of guys, and he had a very strong leg. So I went out, saw him and 5 other guys, 6 total in the spring. He was the best of those guys, and then we had those guys and probably 10 or 12 guys in our one-day kicking camp, specialist camp in June, and he was the best one. Wasn't even close. And we had probably 10 or 11 guys that were major college Division I scholarship guys, and he was the best guy on that day of all those guys. So
you feel he's got a legitimate shot at this competition, take that job?
Yeah, I mean, how quickly can freshmen? I mean, who knows? I mean, it's a big transition. The timing of his, they're kicking field goals off the ground rather than a tee, which is a humongous difference. It's a lot different for guys, and sometimes guys can adapt. Jackson Rice adapted very fast. It didn't take him very long at all. Some guys it takes them 2 or 3 years. It's just like position players at other positions. It takes. Where's this guy been for 3 years? He's playing great for us now. Sometimes it's a confidence factor. If something doesn't happen well, sometimes they kind of lose their confidence a little bit. Again, they're only going to get a couple chances. It's not like quarterbacks can throw 35 passes. I mean, he's going to get 1 or 2 or very few plays. And so if something doesn't go well, do they mentally go, okay, now they start questioning themselves? And for young guys that haven't had much experience to go back and rely confidence on previous experience, and sometimes if those younger guys get out there, they're easier. It's easier for them to lose confidence. So.
Tom, thanks so much.
Sure, thank you. Appreciate it.